We're back and we're live with game 2 of a best of 3 for the Corsair Summer Tour 2013. I'm LD. I'm joined here by Merlini, and we are going to cast Flipside, formerly Absolute Legends, against Team Empire. Right into the draft we go. The draft is well underway, Merlini. How do you like the draft so far?
Well, Flipside got absolutely dominated by Alchemist Bane in their triple lane, so I'm trying to take Team Empire's strategy and employ it for themselves. I guess it's better for them. I don't exactly know whether it was the hero draft. I suspect it was the hero draft, but can they utilize it as well as Team Empire? That is the big question.
Yeah, I like the fact that Flipside have gone for stronger laning heroes. I think that was their main issue last game was Prophet mid against OD, way too weak as far as the matchup goes. Anti-Mage versus Darkseer is fine, but the tri-lane was pretty weak. It was a Sand King Visage, which is okay. The Lifestealer, though, gives you a double melee tri-lane. You don't have great initiation range. And the flip side just had a very strong defensive tri-lane. So stronger lanes for them, it looks like so far. A lot more stuns, and I think that's the way to go.
Team Empire also drafted a very strong laning composition too, so expect to see a lot of action in the early game if we see a triple-on-triple lane action. And looking at the bans from Flipside, I'm not too sure about the Kunkka ban. I guess they're scared of the Shadow Demon Kunkka combo, but we haven't seen it too much. I haven't been following Team Empire lately, but I suppose it is something to be scared of. Puck would be a very good pick for Team Empire. Plays well into their early laning control and extending into aggression around the first nighttime. So I think a great ban from him. Wow, going for a Shadow Fiend on the 4th pick. So
that Shadow Friend.
That means a strange pick for the 5th, because you almost never pick Shadow Fiend 4th, just because you can counter him with a very, very strong solo mid. Queen of Pain does very well versus some Tinker performs pretty well too. There's a few counters for Shadow Fiend in the middle lane, and you really need to be able to shut him down early. Most of the time when I've seen Shadow Fiend, it's been a 5th pick, and usually when you have 2nd pick, when you can just abuse an enemy's, for example, Dragon Knight pick, and take advantage of the...
Yeah, I think you can get away with it earlier sometimes, but...
TA!
Yeah, this is actually one of the hardest heroes to play against is Shadow Fiend.
That's so scary.
You have no way to remove Refraction. TA has way more damage than you even early on, and definitely as the Refraction levels up. Once she hits level 6...
Huge skill potential.
I would say like 80% of the time I've cast or played the matchup myself. If you're the TA, then you could just go and kill the Shadow Fiend at 6. He's got to play sick, and he's got to have just perfect raises and great timing, and your Refraction has to be misused for you to die.
That is...
It's a tough
I don't see him winning the lane at all. Even with Babysit, TA isn't going to die for the most part. She's going to be so resilient in the lane and just a constant thorn in Flipside's side. And any rotation from Team Empire is almost certainly a death for Shadow Fiend.
And if Flipside does park a Bane mid, or if they do put a Nyx mid or try to support the Shadow Fiend in any way, that means Darkseer is left to his own devices, a very strong hero in those situations. Shadow Demon Gyro is a strong combo. Because the Shadow Fiend can just get crushed by TA, if Flipside try to respond to that, then they weaken their other lanes, which are already going to be tough. And if they don't respond to it, the Shadow Fiend gets crushed. In theory, it looks really bad for them, but if you play perfectly and you play very safe, you can come out okay.
Yeah, I hope to see maybe another minus armor hero, like Vengeful Spirit, although it would make their lane strange. If they have 3 minus armor heroes, even if you lose the early game, you can still do Roshan very fast, try and play catch-up on Shadow Fiend, and just massive amounts of physical damage.
You know, we're talking a lot about Shadow Fiend mid, but there is one other option.
Shadow Fiend triple lane?
Shadow Fiend safe lane and an aggressive tri-lane. So
Doombringer.
if you do that, and Shadow Fiend's 1v1 against Darkseer, if you play the Shadow Fiend really well safe lane, you get pulled early. I've actually seen the Shadow Fiends come out on top. And once they get level 5, it's actually very dangerous for Darkseer to dive you, because if you get triple raised, you pretty much die.
Yeah, so that would actually be pretty good. But they'd have to do, I suppose, Doom middle, maybe Alchemist middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no good solution for the Temple Assassin.
I think Alchemist's the best one, because Acid Spray removes Refraction.
Yeah,
so.
and you can trade decently in that.
TA's probably going to outlast hit you, but at least you're not going to die.
Your triple lane's going to be god-awful, though, with Bane, Nyx, and Doom. That's such low range.
Or do they jungle the Doom, abandon the off
I think they just abandon the off lane, do triple lane bottom, Shadow Fiend mid, and just try and have the Doom crush the jungle or the bottom lane and try and take control of the...
They're actually dire, so it'd be a tri-lane top, but yeah, same thing.
And they would try and take control maybe after like the 7 or 8 minute mark once Doom gets his ultimate.
I think that's the best way to go. Team Empire will pick up a Venom.
Super aggressive early game lineup from them.
Yeah, this hero, if he goes on mid, Shadow Fiend, even at level 1, could die to it. If he's like at the river, you
get that TV scroll. Level 1 TV scroll.
Especially if the Shadow Demon comes as well. So, very aggressive lineup from them. Obviously, they have some late game. TA, Gyro, lots of burst damage. The one thing they have very little of, though, Merlini, is stuns, and sometimes that can be a problem against Shadow Fiend, Alk, Doom. If these heroes get a good start and you don't have stuns to deal with them,
They have the deeps though.
they got the deeps.
They have massive amounts of deeps, and they have OK versus BKB. They have Flak, and they have Demonic Purge, and they have TA doing a lot of damage. But
And Gale, if it hits you first, actually slows you, even if you pop BKB. So, not the
Yeah.
best counter, but it's something.
hard counter right there.
I just wanted to show off my mechanics knowledge.
Empire. Let's see who's going to be the main Doom target, though. They Venomancer, just pretty much useless. Don't want to waste your Doom on him. Gyrocopter, if he gets his Flak off before, he's still going to do a lot of damage even before he dies. Darkseer is probably my highest priority Doom target. TA probably second. The problem is they do have defensive disruption, so they can save him a little bit from getting bursted down so quickly. So no straight up, okay, I must Doom this hero every time, but it'll be situational.
Yeah, of course, if they blow a disruption on that, then they have no way
Get
to
his wall of heroes.
protect the heroes getting Fiend's Grip. The great wall. It's funny because this happened to Empire last game. They ran up that hill and died.
Oh, it's a Shadow Fiend safe lane versus this triple ranged offensive triple lane from Empire.
They're
Oh, they
gonna
did
have
put
to be
the
really
Alchemist mid.
careful about their
Okay, the
positioning.
Alchemist mid is good. The Doom in the off lane, I suppose he can do decently versus Darkseer, but I think he really needs luck with a creep. Maybe if you get an early Satyr, things would work out really well for you. But if you get a Hellbear Smasher, useless. If you get a Troll Warlord, pretty useless.
Versus Darkseer, very
Yeah,
useless.
so-
Good in the jungle, not good in the
You're
lane.
relying a lot on the luck factor, and now that Light has now that Light has the illusions, he can actually block the big spawns and prevent Unicorn from getting anything big. He can put one at the magic bush, one right here. It'll block the 30-second spawn as well as a 1-minute spawn, and Unicorn will just be very, very far behind. Light doing some very good tricks with his illusions over here, but actually he did not block the spawn. Let's see what Sans double Centaur for Unicorn, as well as Mana Burn. I actually didn't consider the Mana Burn.
Sorry about that, guys. I am a bit sick right now, so apologize if I ruptured your eardrums. I'll try not to sneeze, but the body is an involuntary creature at times. So we'll introduce the teams now, Merlini, and we'll start with the tri-lane in case there's any action here. Miracle on the Nyx for Flipside. They trail 0-1 in the best of 3. Mania handling the Shadow Fiend. Got to play very safe. Actually, a Mania Shadow Fiend. Interesting. Normally, isn't he on support for them?
Mania? He plays Initiator sometimes, but he played the Lifestealer last game.
Okay. He's more known for his Sand Cane as Earthshaker for sure. But Rise on the Bane. He'll be that support Bane. It'll be Miguel mid on the Alk. Unicorn XO on the Doom. And we might actually have a skirmish here. Gale's going to connect to Miracle. We'll save the introductions for Empire for a bit later as Miracle's in a lot of trouble. Now the disruption comes through. Look for a Flax for a very easy kill. A nice defensive sleep. Won't matter. This is the power of Venomancer. If you get a Gale on somebody and they're away from tower, they die.
I think that Rise could have saved him. If he were there a little bit closer, he could have stopped the Gyrocopter from coming in. He got the sleep up, but the barrage was already going. Too much damage coming in. First blood will go to Empire. I'm actually surprised that he went for Mana Burn first, just because it's not that useful against this triple lane. Just because they're just gonna go on you if you try Mana Burn and just straight up kill you.
Yeah, it doesn't have the longest range. We'll introduce Empire now. They strike first again in game 2. They now lead 1-0 in the aggressive. Trying to
Look at
deploy
Light
your
on
brain
bottom. He is
on the
playing
gyro
so aggressively.
Yeah, he was posting up big time. Sunlight handling the Shadow Demon. Rotating towards mid will be FNG, who was stellar on the Bane last time around. Light of Heaven just parked between the two towers. Creep skipping on his own safe lane on the Radiant side. You can barely do it, but it's very unusual to see because
It's so aggressive.
it's so easy to gank if the enemy rotates. And last but not least, it will be Scandal as the solo mid TA.
Is Unicorn going to die here? Oh my goodness. He is taking a lot of damage from Light. Light is zoning him out. He is a full,
There's nothing
almost
that
two
Doom can
levels,
do here.
2 levels ahead.
Get an Ion Shell creep once in a while. Light of Heaven could be finding a solo kill. Oh, he wanted to. He really wanted to. Meanwhile, mid lane, we can actually say the mid lane's going well. Miguel's 14-1. I think Alk does pretty well against TA, but when I've normally seen it, it's an even trade, not a crush in the Alk's favor.
But Scandal does have a double damage rune, and this should
So
tip
much for
things
that.
slightly in favor.
Yeah, it's going to be tough now.
TA with double damage rune is just plain scary. Miracle getting that Mana Burn work done, but Venomancer, he has 2 clarities. He's totally prepared for this, and again, you really have to question this not getting stunned at level 1. That will, they don't have anything to save the Shadow Fiend if that happens.
And speaking of that Shadow Fiend, they're doing the right thing, which is just keeping him the hell away from the enemy heroes, but you do not want to be jungling as a level 2 Shadow Fiend. This is incredibly inefficient. If you're level 5, it's okay. Even level 3, but level 2 is just awful.
they try to draft for better lanes this game, but the only lane that's doing decently for them is Miggle and middle. And
You know, it was decent lanes until they picked up a Shadow Fiend and,
Yeah.
and a Doom, and then it all fell apart. Those two heroes are both awful laners.
Well, these heroes are playing super aggressively on top 2, Empire and FNG, going to the right side of the tower, but no action to be had there. Light has the Soul Ring, looking to put a lot of pressure on Unicorn, and I just don't really see the benefit of pairing up the Doom versus the Darkseer. In theory, Devour's okay. Maybe you can devour an Iron Shell creep now and then, but the cooldown is just so long at
Yeah,
early
it's
levels.
100 seconds, right? No, sorry, it's that's something of Midas. But yeah, it's pretty long at the early levels.
He does have the Centaur right now. Light, is getting body blocked by Unicorn.
Might end up going down here. One more tower shot would do it. He's bottling up, or rather, just healing up.
Ooh,
Not enough.
wow, nice body block.
A little bit over aggressive from Light of Heaven as well. I don't feel he has to go for kills. He could just win by attrition in that lane.
Yeah, just double Ion Shell creeps. He has the early Soul Ring. He's way more farmed than the Doom, but not after that kill.
And if you want to go for a kill, I think it's really nice to have a single point in vacuum. It allows you to get out of trouble just by moving the enemy creeps around if they're blocking you. It allows you to just have that extra burst, keeping him in Ion Shell range, but forces it at level 5.
And Empire contesting the creep pool from Flipside, and level 2 Nyx Assassin, level 2 Bane Elemental, they are hurting. Both of the supports almost close to leveling. Shadow Demon almost level 4, Venomancer almost level 3.
Not only is our Shadow friend not farming, as we will see Miguel channeling a stun mid, this is going to be a solo kill on Scandal. There's no refraction mana. Down she goes.
Goodness gracious.
That's Acid Spray versus refraction.
Scandal is considered one of the top tier solo mids, I think, in the Western scene.
I mean, even though Alk is normally not a dominant 1v1,
Versus
TA has
TA,
low
yeah.
range and relies so heavily on
What a
refraction.
hero Alchemist is. Wins triple lanes, safe lane farmer, excels in that role, can be a support, and dominate solo mid. What can this hero not do?
Yeah, I was actually sad when we saw Mouse Sports, because they're the one team that loves support Alk. Poss plays it a lot, but we didn't see it today, but we are seeing the versatility of the Alk, and some great individual play as well for Miguel. So the score now 2-1. We're 6 minutes in. Flipside, and when it comes to golden experience, they still trail by 1,500 gold, 500 experience, but it could be a whole lot worse.
Shadow Fiend only 12 souls up. He's doing okay in terms of farm, I suppose, but nothing compared to Blow Your Brain. Blow Your Brain, 24 last hits at 9 denies. He almost doubled the CS of the Shadow Friend.
Rise hiding in the trees. They've
At
got
the
to
freedom.
They've got to be cheeky.
He did drop the Observer Ward, though, so that was actually a very smart play by Rise. Now that they know exactly where these guys are, they can either try and rotate from Miggle and play aggressively on the triple lane, that was supposedly the aggressive triple lane, or just sit back, content to farm, or just rotate themselves. Having vision of these two heroes are so important, because these are your playmakers for the team. TA can rotate, but it's usually pretty obvious when a TA is going to gank, especially when she does not have a TP scroll.
Seems like the plan for Flipside is just basically try to keep the tier 1 tower up and constantly stack neutrals. I almost wonder if Flipside should, or if Empire should just be roaming. Like, they could just leave the Gyro solo. I don't feel, even if you kill the Nyx, that it matters. I'd much rather see them putting pressure on Miguel mid, stopping the creep stacking. They have to know that Flipside's up to something like this, because they've been off the lane for ages.
And there's FNG.
Miguel could be in trouble here. The refraction, the melt, starting to
TPL,
tick down.
bro.
He's trying to stun. He's channeling it. Miguel going deep for this one. He'll get it off at the last second. Scandal falls again,
Wow.
and Miguel lives. What a play from the Alk. Now a haste turn pop by our Doom, storming towards mid. But while that happens, FNG will get picked off.
What a
4-1.
Miggle. Oh my goodness. All he had were Boots, Bottle, and Magic Wand, and he was able to survive super long. I thought he should have just TP'd out, but very nice play from him and his team to be able to turn that around 2-1, or 2-0 engagement for them.
They still have the 3 lead farmers in spite of these.
Oh, Doom on bottom. He is diving. Light of Heaven. He popped the haste rune, and looks like Light is actually going to live.
In fact, this could be a turnaround disruption. Soul Catcher there. Unicorn XOXO. Over aggressive. He popped that haste. He ran all the way towards mid, then he came back bottom at the last second. And, well, we just caught the tail end of it, but couldn't get the kill.
Yeah, a lot of times we see Dooms pick up one level death, because about the time when you hit... Oh, I see a Gyrocopter engage on top.
All down there. Miracle looking for an Impale. Blow Your Brain dropping pretty quickly, but not fast enough. He'll find Miracle with the last flat cannon. Just hitting a creep for that one. Well played by him, and we'll actually see an Invisor for FNG, who immediately goes on Miguel. Even though they're Flipside is having these scrappy little plays where they find pickoffs here or there, they control the runes, they punish the TA mid a bit. it still feels like Empire are the ones in the driver's seat here. They lead in terms of gold, in terms of experience, and their supports are just complete pests this game. This time, Miguel will TP out, but this time, Sunlight's here. There's your disruption. Now a trap deployed. He's not in the acid sphere. Actually, I think he is, because he's lost all his HP. He runs into tower range yet again. Is Scandal going to drop? Oh my goodness. If he dies again to this, he's going to be so furious. Bottling up, barely living. Now bottom lane, Light of Heaven on the run. Unicorn XO giving chase. He's a pretty fast Doom. I don't know if he can kill Light of Heaven. He has 0 points in level death. No way to get the kill.
And getting a little greedy with the Devour there. 700 gold to his name. Again, I think the trade-off for level 4 Devour as opposed to level 1 level death is not that great of one. I think
it's not like Devour's level 4 is way better than its level 3. Now Mania top lane, a solo kill for Blow Your Brain. Just needs one more hit.
Gyrocopter is going ridiculously crazy on them. We haven't talked about him much this game, but he is 2-0-1. He has treads, he has drums, 9 minutes in with a Basilius and 400 gold, and he is causing a lot of problems after this T1 fell on top lane.
I think the big thing is just the lack of levels on Flipside supports. We saw a Bane hit level 6 super early last game. He's still only level 5. Nick's still level 5. Now Miguel going to stun himself mid. Meanwhile, two heroes parked together bottom for Team Empire. Stand in FNG. He'll salve Light of Heaven up, who is... He's getting close to a mech. That's a big concern. They will have to doom him, because otherwise, with cooldown, with just a Venomancer ult, which FNG, well, he's only level 3, so scratch that. But simply with cooldown and mech, Empire have the far superior team fight.
And Darkseer at this point is the highest priority target. Scandal did not, mid lane.
Yeah, there's your disruption. Now the cooldown coming through. Miguel dies too fast. Great play. The movement for the supports of Empire has been really what you want.
They've just been moving constantly, applying pressure on the Doombringer.
And now bottom. Let's go back in. FNG, he's got a Gale. He'll throw it now. Every time they move, they're setting up plays. Maybe not this time, though. Unicorn turns around. Doom's Light of Heaven. But he's just going to have to walk away. Now back to mid. No time to rest. Not for the weary. Miracle giving chase. But now Scandal's going to find the kill. His first easy kill this game. And now Scandal 1 and 2. This Gyro just still left unattended top. He slept, but...
No grip yet.
There's no grip. They can't kill him. They really need grip. They really need Vendetta. It's 11 minutes in, and they still don't have them.
And Gyrocopter is a full three levels ahead of Shadow Fiend. Mania is not having a good time this game, but that is one of the biggest weaknesses of Shadow Fiend. He is not strong in the early game. Very weak in lane, and Empire has exploited that.
If Flipside can somehow hang on, they've only lost one tower top. They have an Alk and a Doom, so at some point it'll become the greediest lineup in the world. They haven't taken any points in Grieval's Greed yet. I would have liked to see one. We've talked about just getting 1 point a lot before, though, so we won't bore the viewers with that again, but...
I would like to see a attempted Roshan attempt from Flipside. I think if you pick up one level presence of the Dark Lord, I mean, he doesn't have enough souls for a max level Necromastery.
Look at this Gyro. Yeah, they could go for Roche, but Jesus. Somebody gank him. Like, they can't just let him sit here. This is unbelievable.
Apparently they can. Mania almost died in that engagement too. I think the Flat Cannon just wore him down bit by bit, and we see all the heroes rotate, but he doesn't even have a ward on top lane. That's how aggressive he's playing.
Yeah, he doesn't care. This is Empire Dota. This is your classic aggressive Russian Dota.
Oh, he's channeling stun, TPing bottom.
Maybe in a little bit of trouble, but he'll simply surge north. The TP taking quite a while. In fact, the Alchemist stuns himself after arrival. Rather ignominious way to begin your gank.
Big words, LD. Big words.
Big words. Gotta use that degree, Merlin. apparently your degree is only good for shotgunning beers, though.
That's what college is for, right?
Merlini's a huge frat boy, for anyone who doesn't know.
That is absolutely not true. I was not part of a frat.
Yeah, but I
did learn the frat ways. Scandal has picked up yet another DD rune. It looks like he actually is going to rush a Blink Dagger, sitting at 1,700 gold, no components of drums yet, and the drums is already on the Gyrocopter. This is the older build, but I think when you're this far ahead, it's okay.
It's okay, but I feel like he should just tank up a bit, because if he gets caught by Vendetta or Grip, and even with Refraction, that can be removed by Acid
That lets
Spray.
Gyrocopter just go to town, though. And they have defensive disrupts.
If they just get like a BKB on the Gyro, which is coming soon, and then the drums into a BKB on TI, I feel like they could just go directly at Flipside, which they're trying to do now. Disruption will come. Alchemist might end up stunning himself. He's got to get a rage for the stun, otherwise he could be in trouble. He'll stun an illusion. A disruption illusion, actually. Fortunately, that was available. Or he might have gone down mid, because Scandal had a DD.
Blow Your Brain, trying to circle around from behind. He is halfway to his BKB, though. Ogre Club plus 979 gold, well on his way to that, and I mean, they have some spells for it, with the Acid Spray, with Presence of Dark Lord being one right-click him down, with Fiend's Grip and Doom, but I feel like Gyrocopter is just going to have his way in team fights. Doom or no Doom.
Yeah, even if... Do you know if Flat Cannon, once you've used it, gets disabled?
I don't think so. It doesn't... Doom does not dispel, so if he pops it before, it should still stick on.
Well,
that will do a lot of damage.
Yeah, if he's getting off the Flat Cannon, that's trouble.
Oh, he's actually going for a Mask of Death, or Morbid Mask rather, and not opting to complete his BKB. Very surprised at that.
Apparently all the players are lagging. I think I'm fine.
Do you lagging?
Do you lagging? Dota's been released, in case you haven't heard. And I guess the players are blaming that for this. For the time being, Flipside will group up as 2. Now we're getting the lag. Oh, I jinxed us. Knock on wood. Miracle finally has access to Vendetta. There's even a sentry in the lane, but he's run to the left. Light of Heaven could be caught here. He's got a mech, though. They'll need probably Doom as well if they want to bring him down. And he'll surge. He'll head south. It looks like Light of Heaven has dodged the noose, at least for now.
And that is the timeline for Vendetta. Meanwhile, mid lane, they try and go on Miguel.
He gets purged. Scandal there. The Soul Catcher onto Miguel. Now backing off. He's not channeling a stun. He'll start to now. It's a very short duration stun. Beautiful disruption dodge. But the Impale comes through. There's not enough follow-up. And meanwhile, bottom lane, FNG and Unicorn XOXO duking it out a bit. It is a Blink Dagger for Scandal. We really do not see this build at all anymore. Everyone's been going phase, or rather treads drums and into Yasha, which is a pretty sustainable chasing build. But
yep,
this is your
that's pretty much any.
This is
you
your
can build that on
classic
anyone.
glass cannon TA.
Yeah, Scandal's been playing decently after giving up those first couple of kills, though. And pops the Regeneration Brute. I think he can just solo most of the heroes on flip side. Maybe not the Alchemist, but Shadow Fiend is just complete food at this point. He is going to be just feeding. He has just Ogre Club, Power Treads, 948 HP, not even level 9 yet, or Requiem. Not too sure about the Shadow Friend pick. He's a strong solo mid, but...
he's like he's a situationally strong solo mid.
Fourth pick, I really have to question that again. Darkseer, he has wall, and he will finally join his team. I think this is the time for Empire to start taking down the last T1, and they can do Roshan for themselves. I think that the Plague Wards are very good for it. It is level 3 on the Venommancer. He is not level 6 yet, though, and they have Gyrocopter, a lot of damage from the Rocket Barrage, and the minus armor and refraction from TA, all excellent for taking down Roshan this early in the game.
Team Empire leading 1-0 in the best of 3. It's the Corsair Summer Tour 2013, our second to last day of group stage action. After this, we'll be heading into the playoffs, scheduled to kick off on 7/17. That's August 7th, or rather, Jesus, that's July 17th. I'm getting excited for the International 3. It's not quite here yet, guys. There is a giveaway. If you're interested, head over to gc.corsair.com, and you can enter for a chance to win some free Dota TV tickets. Also make Corsair very happy, so they'll do more Dota 2 content. And they've already done a lot of awesome content, such as DreamHack. We'll see Miracle Hunting Light of Heaven. Once again, still searching for their first successful Vendetta gank. This one looks pretty good, though.
Yep.
They have Grip. They have Doom. They'll only use 2 big ults
Jeez,
there.
was that necessary? Some Doom hate. Screw you, Light.
I'd rather see them use a Grip, if anything, because, I mean, the Doom's a guaranteed obnoxious spell in a team fight. A Grip is not, but they'll throw the Doom out.
And Alchemist is fairly close to a Shadow Blade. There's no trap inside Roshan. I'm actually very surprised at that. Scandal's usually pretty on top of it. And what is this courier buying?
There's a courier.
Just energy booster.
Who needs traps? Just send the courier on top of Roche.
Yep.
If it's Elgato, it'll kill Roche. It says so in our highlight. Or in our
Shameless self-promotion.
Our promo reel. It's in the video.
So apparently somebody has watched how many games on the courier?
107. Someone already has 107 views on the Elgato courier.
Assuming it's not bugged, that is a ridiculous amount of...
He said they're all legit. Apparently we have cast 107 games since June 30th. Not just at the studio, but between us as well as the Beyond the Summit 2 channel, which kind of boggles my mind. That's a lot of Dota.
That's huge.
That's 10 games a day.
Do you get counts on your ticket if you watch it on Twitch?
Not yet, but you will.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Valve is planning to add it, but it's not available yet. You do have to own the Dota TV ticket, but then you can get views for watching it on Twitch if you have the Elgato. Not yet, though, but it's coming soon, supposedly.
And going with... who? I just saw someone have a Blink Dagger. Blink Dagger on the Doombringer now. So he is...
If you've Centaur... We saw this from Kuroki the other day, and I think it's kind of cool, actually.
Blink Stun?
Yeah, because they lack somewhat... Well, they don't really lack disables, but...
If you follow up the Unstable Concoction or Impale, though,
it just gives them a nice instant initiation. You can maybe pop the Darkseer, blink in, doom him, and then... Or blink in, stun him, and then doom him. No mech, no vacuum. Whereas if you try and run in, he could pop Surge, he could pop the mech, he might be able to get away. So it's not a bad choice, because even though they have Nyx to initiate, I don't feel that's reliable initiation.
So Blow Your Brain, with him going this Helm of the Dominator, that delays like the 5-man group up stage that I expected from Empire a little bit earlier. They had the mech, they could have done it. See a call down, drop in middle.
Blink, stun, now a grip. They're stacking the stuns a bit. In comes your disruption. Blow Your Brain disrupted mid-death animation. He will still go down though. Yeah, that's a little aggressive.
Very aggressive.
It's Empire. We shouldn't be surprised about that though. They need one more game in this best of 3. They already lead 1-0. Can they secure a 2-0 victory? I'm with you, Merlini. I think they had an early mech. They had a Gyro who could have had a BKB by now. I think they would have been much better off just 5-manning. Vacuum, call down. There's no way that Flipside fights against that. Absolutely no way, but they're letting a team with Greevil's Greed and Max Devour farm. Not to mention a Shadow Fiend.
I would like to just see them stack Ancients, get that quick BKB, force some fights, force the towers at T2, mid, and bottom. If they don't do that, just swing in a Roshan, and then you really have the significant item advantage that you can just constantly pressure Flipside with. But now they're not too far ahead. FNG getting stunned on bottom lane.
Just getting real sloppy here in the mid game. Empire is constantly sitting by themselves. They think they're invulnerable because there's Sentry Wards in the lane.
They have a Nyx Assassin, and they have a Shadowblade Alchemist.
And a Blink Doom.
Yeah, and a Blink Doom. And a Fiend's Grip on
Why
the
are
Bane.
you solo farming?
It's not a good idea, but at least Flipside is utilizing the strength of their lineup, finding these kills when Empire is out of position, punishing them for it, and trying to get Shadow Fiend and some of the other underfarm heroes back in this game.
Yeah, they are really letting Flipside back in this game. The gold graph, it's still a 5k gold lead for Empire, a 2k experience lead, but the big thing is Flipside is getting some really important items soon. The BKB on Shadow Fiend, there's only Demonic Purge for that. There's the cooldown slow, which doesn't really matter.
TA can potentially just own him, though, if he tries to play super aggressively.
But this TA is, I feel Scandal's going to have a hard time getting into the fights. Running through Acid Spray, not having a BKB, running into Doom.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Blink and Acid Spray. That spell is so annoying if you play a Blink hero.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get into the fights, and even if she does, she won't have Refraction. Will be rather squishy.
Here
so,
comes the 5-man.
I like that Empire's grouping up, but they don't have that one big item you really think they would want to do it with, which is the BKB and Blow Your Brain.
They need a pipe, too.
I don't think they can actually do this now. I think they easily could have done it around the 10 to 15 minute mark if they'd rushed the BKB.
And now there's a BKB on the Shadow Friend.
But yeah, they need to back. They'll need to farm the Gyro BKB. They can take this late. It's not that Flipside will automatically win there, but...
They almost had the BKB. They had the mech such a long time ago, but really just waiting to use it. I don't think that's the best idea.
It's so weird to see Empire go back into a farming style because we've seen constant aggression from them in Game 1 and the first half of Game 2.
Under-leveled support on the side of Flipside. Don't have to worry about Nyx and Bane for a long time.
It was a recipe for success.
They want to kill. Oh, looks like F3 is trying to do a Roshan. There is a trap there right now, and they ping it out. Let's see how many heroes are smoked. Only 3 of them right now.
Flipside could get caught unawares. In comes FNG. He's smoked up. If he can just gale a few heroes and hit his ult, that would be big time. He'll drop a ward, though. And it looks like Flipside feeling a bit nervous. They have a lot of minus armor for Mania.
That Sentry Ward does not see that TA trap in the pit, by the way.
Yeah, it's out of vision.
Unlucky for them.
Now FNG. Now he gets a Plague Ward into the pit. This was a smart retreat by Flipside because you look at the map right now and Empire were just all off the map, and I mean every single one.
Yeah, that's a terrible place for them to fight. For call down, for the wall, for gathering up, for Venomancer ultimate.
I think if you're Empire, you could just go try and sneak rush right now.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
If you bring Flipside into the pit, that's where they're weakest.
Yeah, they need Sentry Wards, though. I'm not sure if they actually have any on them.
No.
And without that, Shadowblade Alchemist and Vendetta Nyx Assassin would just make the initiation completely in Flipside's favor.
You're right there. They'll take a tier 2 mid in exchange for a tier 1 bottom. Empire, your Radiant squad, leading 1-0 in this best of 3. Score is 6-7 on the kill board. And Empire, slight advantage still for them, but it feels much more like an even game, whereas around the 10 to 15 minute mark, it felt like it could just become a complete stomp in favor of Team Empire.
Yep, pretty close now. I think that Flipside could actually take out Roshan right now. The T2 for Roshan, that's a very good trade for them. And denying the Gyrocopter, the Aegis, is very, very instrumental in coming out ahead in this phase of the game.
Well, they're not going to deny any sort of Aegis yet. Now Blow Your Brain can head back towards the Roach Pit. They still got a trap there to spot things out. There's a gem on the Venomancer. DD rune up on Scandal. Is his BKB coming, or is he just going to go high ground without it? Nobody is here from AL. Do they have teleports? They'll TP in a few. Empire will back off. And with this DD on Scandal, maybe they're just going to try and rush to the Roach Pit. No, they'll be forced to defend bottom. both teams, you got to figure that one of them wants to sneak Roche, and it will be Flipside that strikes first.
And the BKB is completed on the gyrocopter, or at least it's on the chicken. There is a pipe from Darkseer. I think this is a great time for them to fight. As soon as you get those big items, you want to turn a team fight around with it. Press the issue. Keep the heroes on Flipside under farm. There's only a BKB on the Shadow Fiend. There's only a Shadow Blade on the Alchemist. But those heroes farm extremely, extremely fast if left alone.
The thing is now, Light of Heaven is public enemy #1 for the Doom, the Bane, and the Alch. I mean, all of these heroes that have stuns, they should be instantly throwing
This
everything.
trap, oh my goodness. The Sentry Ward, I think, should be placed right here. There's no chance that a trap would stay alive if it's placed right
Scandal
there.
comes into the pit. The Venom gets off the ult. They're all dropping pretty low. In comes a BKB. Scandal, he gets doomed. He gets gripped as well, but the grip gets canceled. Big Requiem from Scandal, or rather for Mania, and now Scandal giving chase. If he can get one more hit, he'll bring him down. He's on the hunt. Doom ending fairly soon. The mech and the pipe kept him in fighting shape. They're going to pop that Shadow Friend like a piñata, and now Rise on the run. Being chased down. Looks like he's going to go blown up in a cloud of big red numbers. Now the Roche to go the way of Empire. And that's the thing. If you don't Doom Light of Heaven, he mechs, he pipes, he vacuums, your Fiend script gets canceled, Scandal's still at full HP. You kind of have to go for the Darkseer first, but then TA runs rampant. It's a tough choice.
That was just a great time for Empire to fight. They were strongest when their mech hit, and as soon as they got their pipe and the BKB on the TA. With those items, it was pretty much just no contest. Shadow Fiend got his BKB off and his ultimate, but just had a turn tail run. Again, Templar Assassin just crushes Shadow Fiend if he tries to BKB man mode.
Yeah, that's where you need your supports to help you out, and they couldn't because they threw everything. Oh, actually, Light of Heaven. Sticky around too long mid, could be in trouble here. Unicorn XOXO, not able to bring him down. But if the supports can keep him safe, like if the TA can't get to him through Acid Spray, but that didn't happen there. Scandal just charged in, and Mania tried to fight.
And he has the Aegis too, not the Gyrocopter, because I assume they'll try to be initiated with him. Again, they don't have too great initiation. Maybe Vacuum, but that's very difficult.
Surge on the TA, and she just charges in. I think that's your initiation.
Maybe a Purge too, or just Venomancer running in and suiciding. That's actually not a very bad idea. He's gonna die anyways.
For the time being, although Empire have a lead, I don't feel they've won this game by any means. The score is 9-8. It's 25 minutes in. They lead by 10k gold, by 10k experience. If they play it just right, they should be able to take the game. But Flipside, a good turtling lineup. So many spells that can just disrupt an initiation. The Sleep, the Grip, the Doom, the Carapace, all of these spells. Empire are a decent lineup to go high ground, but hard for them to just instantly kill Flipside and end the game.
Flipside, I think, needs more defensive items for their team. They need a mech, there's a Doom, and a Grip on Gyrocopter.
Well,
no
Gyro
chance.
down. Maybe if he buys back now, can he buy back? No buyback.
They need more defensive items on Flipside. They're winning these small skirmishes here and there, but when it comes to a straight 5-on-5 team fight, the mass AoE from Empire with the Vacuum Wall into Call Down and Flak and the Venomancer ultimate is just very difficult for their under-leveled heroes to survive. Almost certainly the supports are going to die in the fight, and if they had a mech perhaps on the Alchemist, Shadowblade is decent, but his team needs to survive. You need to be able to get that grip off. You need to hit multiple stuns with the next assassin, and without that, I don't see them winning very many team fights, especially with his Aegis on TA.
They also just need that tanky frontline presence. And Alk is very vulnerable to being blown up by TA. Low base armor. He'll go for the Assault Cars first, but I definitely agree with you that he'll need a BKB after that. And we'll just have to see if he can find the farm. Now Miguel has Max Greevil's Greed. He leveled it last of all his spells, outside of his ult level 3, obviously, and we'll see if he can find the farm. The Doom, plate mail picked up. Everybody worried about the burst damage coming off Scandal, and he still packs a punch, although he doesn't have that big damage item yet. It's just the basic TA burst. So I imagine a Desolator
You know
suit
Unicorn is up here.
wouldn't be a bad idea.
Ooh. Nice blink by him. Good reaction.
It's that lack of initiation. They don't have a puck with a Dream Coil. They don't have that instant disable.
They could put like an Ion Shell on TA and blink right next to him. That would be...
Yeah.
That would disable the blink, but that is pretty difficult to pull off.
But the range of that is a lot less than like a Blink Coil even. So Empire going to push high ground here. They lead by quite a bit in terms of golden experience. They don't have a necessarily overwhelming advantage, but they've got a strong one. And with the mech, the pipe, the gem, it'll be hard for Nyx or Doom to get the jump.
Miguel TPing back. He was trying to split push bottom, but he realized that he pushes way too slowly by himself.
He does push the wave into the tower, though, and for the time being, Team Empire are going to back off. They'll play it safe, and Flipside still defending. I feel they're hanging on here. Not out of it yet.
Yeah, they're hanging on here. Templar's time to shine is not over yet, but it will be over soon if Shadow Fiend and Alchemist get a few more items. Miracle desperately trying to find a kill. He has transferred a gem to someone. Who has it?
He'll find FNG. He doesn't get off the Impale. Now he gets Galed. He didn't carapace out of that. Not the best Nick skank from Miracle. But in the end, they won't find the kill, but still they're sticking around. They're actually chasing him down the river. Oh, this could be bad. I'm not sure for who, though, because from the side comes Blow Your Brain and Scandal. Trap number 1 won't connect. Miguel popping his ult. Chemical Rage and retreating out immediately. Scandal giving chase. He's got a trap. He'll pop it now. It's a bit far to dive, though. In the end, that looks like it could have been a bloodbath, but both teams got cold feet at the last second.
Alchemist is so close to his AC. Desperately wants to farm it before the inevitable T3 push from Empire. The score is even, but Empire has a pretty huge lead in this game. Checking the goal graph, about 7,000 in favor of Empire. XP, very, very similar.
And you mentioned TA generally falls off, but I feel in this game if you just get a Desolator, and right now Scandal's a BKB and a double damage rune, he could just insta-gib anyone on this team. And I mean anyone. I even mean the Doom that has 18 armor and 600 HP. With a DD rune and with a Deso, which he could buy right now, he could really go to town. Or
he's super scary.
Even a Daedalus would be a possibility. But I think that's what they want, just more burst on Scandal, because he's already got the BKB. Looks like the Gyrocopter is actually building a Manta style. We very rarely see this on Gyro. Kind of a curious choice. I thought it was going to be a Lincoln's when I saw the Ultimate Orb, but...
Maybe he wants to prevent some of the single target spells. If he sends an illusion in, maybe he'll bait a grip, maybe he'll bait a Blink Doom or a Vendetta Initiate, and
Scandal
that happens.
Would like to see him pop this double damage rune, because you got to figure at some point they're going to grip or DD him or Doom him, and he won't be able to use it. But for the time being, looks like he might want to save it for after the Aegis is popped. He'll siege the tower, he'll back off. Mech is there for Empire. They lead 1-0. If they win this game, they win the series. They'll move on to the winner bracket finals of Group D. The Corsair Summer Tour 2013 Scandal back inside the jungle, farming, Flipside's neutrals, and up to 4,500 gold. Aegis to be reclaimed, so in the end, they could have forced a fight, but they decide to play it safe. They'll likely wait for Roshan number 2 and the next round of items.
And there's the Desolator that you were talking about. The Shiva's Guard is up on the Doombringer. Blink and Doom into a Stomp and Shiva's. That's not bad initiation for Flipside.
Especially heroes like TA who just don't have the... If she doesn't get her BKB off anyway, they don't have the best like chasing range, because TA is basically a melee hero in fights, and she can be fast, but your Blink Dagger is going to be disabled by Acid Spray, so you'll have to just run at them. And that's where maybe the Shivas prevents Scandal from getting the damage out.
Empire is lacking on initiation, like you said. Maybe a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Demon, but they just have they're having a very difficult time engaging in these 5v5 team fights, trying to find opportunities to try and kill someone. And we see a 5-man smoke from F3 on bottom. They're looking for blood.
Empire doing the same thing. They're smoking through the river right now.
Ring around the rosy.
As a squad, we'll see some illusions caught out. Miracle, he's going to use Vendetta. No, he sees 2.
Oof.
He realizes they're fake, and Empire safely tucked away on the high ground now. Both teams trying to posture for Roshan positioning. A few minutes off, but you win a big fight now, you can get the full ward control, map control, and Roshan control. But
I think both teams know that both the other team is smoked by now. I would hope so.
It's quite obvious that Flipside are, because bottom or top and middle are pushing in pretty hard, and the lanes are a little bit more in Empire's favor, but still, they've been so confident to farm those lanes, even when they're far in, that it's pretty obvious for Flipside as well.
F3 has a TP rack right now. The Empire pushes so much faster, and this T3 is already at 300 HP. They can't split push. They have to TP back. And
remember, there's no glyph here.
Shadow Fiend has an Eagle Song, which I think may put him out of range for buyback. Maybe. No, he has enough reliable gold.
Yeah, there's a buyback on Shadow Fiend. There's a buyback on Darkseer. The only 2 heroes that have it. Looks like Team Empire just trying to draw the entirety of Flipside back. They don't want this team to be sneaking a Roshan. And I wonder if they just go for this now. Roshan to respawn in 2 minutes. If you want to go, you go now. Because otherwise, if you lose the fight, you give up a Rosh as well. You'll be able to respawn and just get there in time if you fight right now. But they're still waiting. They're still sieging. No real commitment yet from Team Empire.
Split push from Blow Your Brain in the mid lane. Flex a couple of ways, but then decides to rejoin his team up top.
He's got the Manta style. A little bit tankier. It's not. It just doesn't. It feels weird to me to get one of these because it doesn't work that well on Gyro. You don't get flat cannon on your Manta illusions.
There's nothing really to dispel either. Sometimes when you get silence, you really want to dispel it with a Manta, but there's an initiation from Empire.
Pretty piddling initiation.
Casual Poison Nova.
It's a fairly long cooldown ultimate, but at the same
Alchemist
time,
just heals right through it. Look at this
Yeah.
guy. Look at this hero.
well, it's worn off now. And Mania, I like what he did. He's just rotating the enemy jungle. He continues to farm. They have an AC up on the Alch. The Butterfly's coming soon on the Shadow Friend. And Team Empire, that item advantage is starting to feel like it's not really there. 7.5k gold lead.
They're not efficient they're not efficient running around the map right now. They tried to break the T3 up top. They know it's not happening and took a little bit longer than I expected them to just split around the map and farm like Flipside is doing.
And also just a lot of their items don't really pack the same kind of punch. Like an Assault Caress and a Butterfly are huge item pickups. A Manta on Gyro, a Helm of the Dominator on Gyro. These are
Underwhelming.
Nice, they're supplemental items, right? Like you want your MKB, you want your Butterfly, you want your
But he has
Rapier.
plus 47 damage, LD.
Come on, Merlini. Get out of here with that nonsense.
And he has that attack speed.
I mean, he's still the richest here in the game, but I honestly feel like
He could be a lot richer. He could be just owning everybody in one flak barrage.
he has been stacking the Ancients at some points this game, although I don't know if he's been doing it constantly. I haven't seen him farm them much, and there's a miniature stack there. I think he
Roshan
could
is
be
up.
richer by just farming Ancients a little bit more efficiently as well. His build is more of an early to mid-game combat build. You rush a BKB, you rush drums and treads. You want to fight, but then he went back for Helm of the Dominator, he went back to farm. It feels like Empire just are maybe a little unconfident as far as how to seize the momentum and just run away with this game.
Yeah, but we've seen so many different builds from Gyrocopter. This is one of the more unusual ones. Phase drums, very typical choice. We've seen Shadow Blades, we've seen BKB rush, we've seen Rapier rush. What else have I seen? And we've seen Scepter.
Initiation mid, and Miguel on the run, on the chase, is going to be Scandal. Do they have a gem? There's one on Light of Heaven. I thought that was a decent fight for Team Empire to take, but so close to Roshan respawning, they don't want to take the risk. Sorry, in fact, Roshan
Blinking up that hill or going up the hill is
Blake
just
forward
very
by the
difficult.
Nyx. They
Ooh.
found the Veno, but a nice defensive disruption buys him time. He'll be okay. Miguel getting purged, waiting for the TA initiation. That's what it's all about for this Empire squad, but Scandal reluctant to go in. Empire pushing in the middle lane. Both teams can do Roshan very quickly, so keep an
Yeah,
eye
I
on
think
them.
TA could probably just solo it with that DD and with that Desolator. That is going to be a lot of minus armor on Roshan. I would
Honestly,
like
they
to see
could just take
Medallion,
Roche
too.
before Mania gets back here, I think. He just TP'd home, and look at Scandal go. Roshan already losing a quarter of his HP before Mania even gets back to the
Pinging
pit.
out, though. They know what's going on.
It's going to be too late. I think they'll have to go for a Blink Steal immediately if they want to take this Roche. It isn't going to matter. Roche already falling. And now surging up the hill is Light of Heaven. A vacuum into a two-hero gale. Now the grip comes out on Light. He hasn't used the pipe. It's cooling down. There's your Requiem. Blow your brain. Just man-moding his way through as well as Scandal. Mania to fall. That's 4 hitting the deck. Triple kill for Blow. And that might just be Rax.
Wow, I think Doom disconnected right before that happened. That is quite a shame for Unicorn.
No Shivas, no Blink Stun, no Doom.
That
I
is-
think they might have lost the fight anyway, because Scandal had his DD, he had an Aegis, and Light of Heaven already had gotten off his vacuum, but it still really hurts.
Yeah, that is
Or
a
vacuum
very
ball.
difficult place for Flipside to fight, and this is, I think a lot of people call it the stairs of death. It's just such a terrible choke point if you're on Dire. Usually Dire has that advantage, but if you're forced to retreat back up this hill, have to get brought back down by vacuum, or just clump before a nice Poison Nova, or just have to run in a wall, you often just lose team fights because of positioning.
There's a Purge, there's a Gale, there's a Vac on Unicorn. From the side, though, comes Miracle hunting this Venomancer. Might be going down. While that's happening, the mid-racks are going to fall, and it looks like FNG will take a spill. Miracle still giving chase. No Gale right now. The Magic Stick cooling down. Defensive disruption. Actually, offensive. Now a Soul Catcher and a blink away. Quick reactions from Miracle on the Nyx. But while that's happening, they might take 2 lanes of racks. There's your Doom on Scandal. The pipe keeps him alive in fighting shape. Could be surge forward. He is.
doesn't
Unicorn
even
dropping
care about
fast.
the
He
Doom.
doesn't care. He's going to get the kill. He'll go down once, but can they kill him twice? Here's your Slap Chop Alchemist. Blow your brain to fall. Back comes the TA. Now Scandal pops the BKB. He needs to kill off Mania. Can't quite do it in time. Mania evading some critical hits. He evades again. Now the trap's coming forth. Rise. Low. Dead to a meld crit. But Scandal has dove the fountain. He could be punished for this. So Blink in the trees, and I think he'll escape. Doom having Blink, but not choosing to use it. Wasn't sure where he went. Could have gone for a Blink Stomp there.
Where's your BKB, Blow Your Brain? I think he used it a little bit too late. He got caught in the stun with the TA who was about to die with her Aegis. Got caught, bursted down from almost 100 to 0 there. I think that would have been a second Rex had that not happened, but nice play by Scandal there. Almost getting a kill on the Shadow Fiend, sniping that kill on the Bane, and escaping with his life.
Now Blow Your Brain farming a massive Ancient stack. Miguel wanted to contest.
He has MKB. This is normal.
Now he's scary. Now that he's got that big damage item, Manta just makes you a little bit tankier, slightly better chasing hero. Still has 3 jump charges. Normally you don't see that at 38 minutes.
Another problem with Shadow Fiend is he just does not scale as well with items like Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter hits everybody in a team fight, and Shadow Fiend only hits one.
And he'll try to run, but Scandal's on the chase. He could drop a trap here if he'd like. Very hard to bring down that Doom. Pops the drums. Pretty much hasted once he's not being slowed.
Oh, this is the only guy that I see use drums like very late. The Eastern Dota players never use their drums. The Western Dota players use their drums in like 5 minutes. And Unicorn uses it judiciously.
Yes, actually the Gyro has 2. 3 drum charges on Blow Your Brain.
That is unusual. He's had that thing forever.
I was mentioning that. See, you don't listen to me.
You did? Oh.
I mentioned that earlier.
Well, did you talk about the Dooms?
Or you just try to steal my material. I'm not sure which.
I think it's probably the latter.
Don't be jelly.
I need original material.
Blow Your Brain, Hunting Mania on the tree line. Oh, mini stun from the MKB. Does the Shadow Friend in.
He is. Wow.
See ya.
See ya later.
That's definitely one of those see ya moments. If you're mad at somebody, a little all chat BM comes out there.
I've seen Shadow Fiend work in like heavy minus armor lineups. We used to see Shadow Fiend plus Kunkka plus Alchemist and Vengeful, and he would just minus armor everything. Oh, there was a Slaughterer too, and he would just amplify damage to creep and just have one huge Tidebringer hit. That was a cool strategy way back in the day. I wonder if it'll make a resurgence. All those heroes are pretty strong now.
Blow Your Brain popping the BKB. Miracle on the run. In comes Scandal. Vendetta's up. Miracle hiding through the trees, but on the backside, the real engagement is broken out. Unicorn running. He gets vacuumed back in. He Shivas and tries to escape, but now they found a target they can latch onto. That's Miguel. Miguel will go down, and now the Doom on the run. Unicorn XOXO already using his Doom. Nothing else to offer in this team fight. That'll be 3 lanes of racks, most likely the game. Team Empire crushing through Flipside in the end. They made it hard on themselves in the mid-game, Merlini, but
they finally grouped up.
I think Flipside was just ill-prepared for aggression. We'll have one last clash, a blink stun from Doom. Hit 4, but now a back in. Where's that flat cannon? There it is. Blow Your Brain. Just demolishing everyone, and it's clean up for Scandal. That's a team wipe. That's the game. And Team Flipside is dropping down to the losers bracket of Group D after this. Empire demolishing them here.
They were just hanging on for dear lives in that mid-game and just praying that Empire would not group up and force the issue and hope that they could catch up and farm. But Empire finally grouped up. They had their mech, they had their pipe, they had their BKBs. From there, it's history.
It's amazing. That TA had, what was it, minus 19 armor with Meld, AC, and Desolator at the end of the game. You can get an AC, you can get a Shivas. Doesn't matter. You still have basically no armor.
I love seeing TA.
I also think TA worked out especially well in that game because two of the cores, especially Alk and Doom, are notorious for their horrendous armor.
Gotta abuse that.
And they did. That was some cute little draft for them.
Good pick in the TA.
And the Shadow Fiend was just so easy to exploit. I mean, I felt like their draft was good until they went for Shadow Fiend as well as Doom. That's when
super greedy lineup. Super greedy lineup.
Greed is good, but not always.
Black.
Unless you're Gordon Gecko.
Black's motto.
Then greed is always good.
Black's motto. Mr. GPM.
I'll tell you, you're no Gordon Gecko in that thing. Jesus. Well, if you want to get Merlini a suit, then you can follow him on Twitter. Let him know. Twitter.com/MerliniDota.
Bruno's a suit man. Sets man, suit man, Hawaiian shirt man.
Soup man. Sounds like the soup man.
What is a soup man?
I don't know. I could use some soup. I have a sore throat. If you want to send me some consolation, because I'm feeling sick, guys. Casting when I'm sick, because I'm a trooper. Twitter.com/LDDota. You can follow me there. But most importantly, this is the Corsair Summer 2013. It is Group D, our final group before we move into the playoffs. A $10,000 North American European event. I'm LD. He's Merlini. And we would like you to go to gc.corsair.com and check out the giveaway of Dota TV tickets for this event. But on that note, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with our final match of the day. Stay tuned.